In this presentation, we're going to review some of the features in the Google Mapping for the Perform software suite. We're going to start with the active calls map found in Dispatch. And if you look here, you'll see the active calls map displayed on my screen. In this particular view, we're looking at the map view of Google. And you can see that in the map view, you're going to see traffic patterns and things of that nature, as you would in a normal Google map. Up at the top, we have options. We have a find button that you can type in an address to find an address you're looking for. We have a police, tow, fire, and EMS toggle. Toggling the police button will remove or add police calls to the list. Toggling the fire button will add or remove fire calls from the list. We have the ability to overlay our hydrants, which are data entered from our fire record software. We can overlay sites, and we have the ability for a dashboard. Our dashboard is displayed on the right-hand side of the screen, and if I want to remove the dashboard, clicking the button is going to remove the dashboard, and it's also going to, clicking the button again is going to reapply the dashboard and bring it up. We have a list over here for area views. A single agency, single department may just have one community here to toggle back and forth to an area view. A department that handles multiple agencies may have multiple departments or multiple jurisdictions listed here to toggle back and forth to those area views. You can see below that all of our calls and things are grouped in groupings. You can see my pending calls will be listed here. My dispatch calls will be listed here. And I can remove any of those groupings by clicking the X in the corner. If you look at the view of my map, you can see that I have two currently active calls. The calls are indicated by a circle with a number in the center. The number in the center indicates whether it's a priority 1, priority 2, or priority 3 call. A green circle indicates it's a pending call and has not been dispatched yet. A red circle indicates that this is a dispatch call and units have been responding or sent to the scene. If I open up my dispatch console, I can show you here that if I do dispatch a unit to this assault, once I dispatch that unit, that call on the map is going to go from green to red, indicating units have been dispatched. For this fire call, down here off of Laurel Lane, I can overlay my hydrants onto the map, and you can see that I have my hydrants, so I can pick and choose my closest hydrants. Out of service fire hydrants are going to be indicated by a yellow X through them, indicating that hydrant is out of service. Active fire hydrants are indicated with a little hydrant symbol on the map. If I need more details about the call, clicking on the circle is going to give me the call information and the address. And it's also going to provide me with a hyperlink where I can click on the hyperlink and get the complete details of the call itself. Once I'm done with the call details, I can close that window and go back to my active calls map. From here, I can also switch from my map view to my satellite view. Satellite view is going to give me a satellite view of the area. And again, I can zoom in and I can come down to this incident. You can see that my closest fire hydrant to this incident is out of service. So if requested, I can actually right-click on my map and do a radius. I can come in here and I can say, okay, I want to see all fire hydrants within a 1,000-foot radius. Clicking on that is going to set a radius, and I can clearly see that I have this hydrant and these 4 hydrants down here within my 1,000 feet of this incident. The radius also works in law RMS as well as fire RMS. And you can use this to justify, or you could use this to search areas, radiuses, evacuation zones, and I can also use it to look for certain crimes and things or incidents within a certain radius around a particular location. To remove the radius, I simply right-click, click on Remove Radius, and it takes the radius away from my screen. I can also zoom right in and see the houses in the area. I can also grab my little man from the toolbar, bring him down and drag him down into the street view and look at a street view of the actual location that we're going to. When I'm done looking at the street view, I can actually click the X in the corner and go back to my map view. We also now give you the ability to overlay what we call KML layers. If you have old Esri mapping type data, you can convert those files to a KML layer, host it to the web so it can be reached by Google, and we can overlay those layers on top of my existing Google Maps. Okay, I'm going to close my active call map temporarily. I'm going to show you a couple other features available within the dispatch side of the software. From within an actual active call or from my new call window, I have the ability to enter call information and use the Google Mapping feature from here. So if I enter that we have a fire call and I put an address in, 12 Main Street, I have my mapping buttons at the top of my dispatch call window. My Map It button is going to actually open the map and allow me to view that location either on the street map or clicking on the satellite map to view that location. I also have the ability within the call or within the call entry window to click on the Route It button. The Route It button is actually going to come up and it's going to allow me to get directions to the location. Typing in a from location and clicking on Get Directions will give me my directions to that incident location. Agencies that purchase the AVL option from within the mobile, the from location will automatically backfill from the GPS location of the mobile. But again, that is an option. It does not come with the basic Google Mapping software. Once you're done, clicking the X in the corner is going to close your route out of your Map It buttons. Now I'm going to step out of dispatch for a moment, and I'm going to bring us in to the police RMS side. We can also use the Google Mapping within the law RMS to do statistics and analysis on incidents and crimes. Once in my record side of the software, whether it be law RMS or fire RMS, if I go to my status reports, and in this case I'm going to go to incident case status, and I want to do a report for the first quarter of the year, so I'm going to enter January 1st to March 31st. And I want to come down here and I want to do analysis on my IBR codes for burglary, breaking, and entering, my 220s. I'm going to select IBR codes, check off the IBR codes in the list that I want to research. When I click Finish, I'm going to come down to the bottom and I'm going to check the option for map results. It's going to default to map results name in here. I can change this so I can find it later. And I can enter something to the effect of B&E quarter 1 2015. And when I hit F10 to execute this report, you can see it's going to come up and it's going to run my report. Okay. It's going to give me all the details just like it would on a normal analysis report. But at the same time, what it's doing in the background here, if I click on my Google Mapping, is it's actually plotting all these incidents on my map. So I can see here now that I have 3 incidents over here in a cluster. If I zoom back out, I have incidents here, here. I can zoom back out a little bit further, and I have more incidents all around town. Clicking on the shield is going to come up and tell me what the incident was, felony against property. It's going to give me the address, and it's going to give me a hyperlink to the actual offense report. Clicking on the hyperlink to the offense report is actually going to open the report and give me the particulars regarding that report and the crime that took place. When I'm done clicking on the close button to close that report and closing the issue, it's going to bring it back down to my icons. I can also at this point, if I want to do some comparisons, I can come up here to add or remove data points. And I can look at reports that I did or queries that I made. And you can see I have my B&E quarter 1 2015. I can also come up here and say, okay, I want to compare this to arrests. And I have this report for arrests. And when I click finished, it's going to add those data points for the arrests to my map. And you can see those are symbolized by the handcuffs. And if there's a cluster of them within a certain radius, it'll show me that there's 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. And I can come up to the top and I can tell it not to cluster, and it's going to break those out of the cluster. Or I can zoom into the cluster to actually see what's there. So now I can come in here and compare how many arrests I had versus my B&Es. And again, clicking on the icon is going to give me the description of the incident. And I can click on the hyperlink, and it's actually going to bring me right to the arrest report. Closing it when I'm done is going to bring me back to my map. I can also at any time from in here switch from my map view to my satellite view. And I can view it in the satellite view as well. I mentioned earlier that all of my different data points that I query are going to be listed down here in groups. So if I want to remove the arrests from my map, I can click on the X, and it's going to take those map points away from my screen. Another feature I want to show you, going back to my police record system, is if I go into a record incident entry, arrest entry, and I bring up an incident, from my offense tab, I can actually come in here and click on the Map It button to map the location. Now I can show by looking at satellite view that we actually took a report of assault and battery here at number 4 Rodnick Street. But I may want to specify that the assault didn't happen here. It actually happened out in the street in front of the location. I can click on my Set Pin feature. It's going to tell me to click on the map where I want to set a new pin. And when I click OK, I can drop that pin in the street where the actual incident occurred and save the latitude and longitude into the report. And now anytime anybody references this report, clicking on the Map It button is going to bring up the map, and it's going to show the pin where the actual incident took place. Jumping into fire records for a moment, if I want to go to my NFIRS 5 and I come down to my incident status reports, I also have a lot of the same functionality. I can come in here and plot my incidents for the first quarter of the month. And I can come down here and tell it which types of incidents I want to see. I can select specifics, or I can leave them so it shows me everything. And again, down at the bottom, I'm going to check off map results, and I can either leave the default name, or I can type my own descriptive name in here for future reference. Clicking on F10 is going to run my report, and I'm going to get my analysis and an actual printout of all my incidents in that date range that I specified. While it's doing this, again, just like in the law RMS package, in the background it's plotting all these data points on my map. And you can see that when it comes in and there's lots of data points in the same spot or same area, it's going to do what we call clustering. And it's going to show you that we had 35 incidents within this cluster, 6 here, 2 here, 23 here, 11 here. I can tell it not to cluster, or I can zoom in on a particular area. And you can see it's going to place the icons on the map for all the different types of incidents we had. Again, highlighting the incident, you can see here, we actually had a fire. It's going to give me the address and a hyperlink to actually open the report. Over here, we had a rescue or EMS call. It's going to give me the address and a hyperlink to open the report. You can see up here, we had an overpressure ruptured explosion, and it's going to give me the hyperlink to open the report. Again, if I'm playing with evacuation zones and I need to evacuate a certain area, I can do my radius, and I can come in here, right-click on the map, The default is 1 mile, so if I just hit set, it's going to give me either an evacuation zone or a 1 mile radius to look at patterns and histories of different types of activity within that area.
Thank you for watching this demonstration of the Google interface for Tritech's Perform software suite. For more information, contact your account executive.